Coast to Coast Pick 5. $1 minimum. Player-friendly 15% takeout. Coast to Coast Pick 5. Weekends beginning January 7th.
It's a first racing tour edition of the Coast to Coast Pick 5. Jeremy Plonk from First Bet, along with Brian Nadeau at Gulfstream Park. We'll have Jeff Siegel with you in just a moment for the West Coast look. Here's a look at the lineup for this week's Coast to Coast Pick 5, all stakes style. We start at Gulfstream Park around 4:17 Eastern with the Forward Gal Stakes. We'll go to the turf for the Megahertz at Santa Anita in race number 4. Then back to Gulfstream Park. Scheduled for the turf. We'll talk weather in a moment. The Swedish Chant Stakes is race 11. The Holy Bull Stakes in race 12 for Triple Crown Aspirants. And then we'll wrap it up with the Thunder Road, race number 10 at Santa Anita with a big field of 12. Brian Nadeau from the Silks Room at Gulfstream Park. Some weather issues potentially for Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see how it shakes out, JP. There could be potentially some rain, maybe some wind as well. So just check the scratches, the changes. The beauty of the Tapeta track is when we get washed off, we typically don't lose a lot of horses. So we'll take a wait and see approach on that. Just, Pete will have you, IL will have you updated with the scratches and the websites and all that kind of stuff.
Let's go to the Forward Gal Stakes at Gulfstream Park. 10 entered in here. 3-year-old fillies potentially on the Kentucky Oaks Trail. Who do you like?
No one. I mean, I spread. This is a spread race to me, JP. 28397 for me. I'm going to just throw the dart at the board. Twice as Sweet, I think, comes out of a good race at Fairground. She chased a really, really nice Juddmonte homebred in Dazzling Blue. That could be any kind. I think she probably stacks up nicely with the locals. And, a horse like Atomically coming out of the Breeders' Cup at 2 turns. Maybe the cutback's a little sharp for her. I know she's the horse to beat, but I'm going to use her, but I wouldn't want to get too tied to her. And then you've got the outside horses, the 7, Undervalued Asset, Red Carpet Ready, Positano's Secret, Sunset. They all come in off sharp wins, but what do you get today stepping up in class? I'm not in love with any of them. So again, it's a spread race, and I think I'll get some value with the 2 Twice as Sweet.
To Gulfstream's 11th race next, it's the Swedish Chant Stakes on the turf. Scheduled, if it gets rained off the turf, it would be on the Tapeta. Who do you like here, regardless of surface?
Padma is my pick, and she's never tried the turf before. She's got a big-time pedigree. Tap it out of Medaglia d'Oro mare. And, the proven runners, they don't overly inspire me. I did not like the race Cairo Consort won last time. I'm willing to fade her. The only other horse I'm going to use is the 1 Sweet Lou's Got Aces. Very, very fast win, stretching out, breaking her maiden, too, in the Tepin last time at Aqueduct. And she made a good appearance in the walking ring the other day when she was schooling.
And next up, the Holy Bull Stakes, race number 12 on the card at Gulfstream. Any Florida Derby hopefuls or Kentucky Derby players here?
You have known me for a long, long time, my friend, and I can be a little stubborn with some picks. I'm coming back to Lord Miles. You watch his 2 races, and it's like he kind of knows what he's doing, and he has no idea what he's doing. He runs in spots. He doesn't run in spots. Blinkers go on in the Holy Bull. He's bred to love the trip. He's bred to love the extra turn. I'm just hoping it's a light bulb moment for him. If that's the case, I'm tying to him. He's my single. He's my best bet on the card.
All right. We'll have Jeff Siegel up next to take a look at the California races for this week's Coast to Coast Pick 5. Fans with First Bet and Express Bet, be sure to take advantage of that $10 free bet when you bet with Express Bet and First Bet on the Coast to Coast Pick 5 each Saturday and Sunday. Time to talk the Santa Anita races now with Jeff Siegel, our West Coast handicapper. Race number 4, Jeff, the Megahertz going a mile on the turf. We've got a field of 8 entered. What do you like?
It's a good race, tough race. I'm going to go with Closing Remarks, number 4 on the program, 7-2. This is a filly just ran second in the Frankel behind Queen Goddess. Nobody's beating Queen Goddess lately, and she had the misfortune of facing her in her last 2 starts. She ran well. Right. This is a second off a layup for Closing Remarks. She's clearly good enough on her best day. I like the way the race shapes up for her, too, because Hamwood Flyer, who's going to blast out and go, and Base Storm's going to sit second and press her, and Closing Remarks could draft in right behind her and get the perfect trip, and I think she will. So I like number 4, Closing Remarks, as my top filly. I would also throw in Hamwood Flyer because she's going to be loose in the lead. She's going to look like the winner at the quarter pole, I promise you. Now, the last eighth of a mile, it might be a little bit tough for her, but she's going to be dangerous. And then I'm also going to throw in Nadette. This is a second-timer in the country for Neil Drysdale, closing second behind Rhea Moon in last time her race, and then Rhea Moon came back and won the American Oaks. So those are the three I'm looking at. Closing remark, Hamwood Flyer, and Nadette.
All right, let's wrap up this all stakes edition of the Coast to Coast Pick 5. Race number 10 at Santa Anita, the Thunder Road, a big field of 12 entered.
I'm going to go with the Air Force Red. He has really gotten good. Lightly raced, 10 starts, 5 wins, but 2 in a row now for trainer Leonard Powell, most recently down the hill. But he's a versatile horse. He can win on the lead. He can stalk. He can win routing. He can win sprinting. He's going to be in the first flight here. He's 3-1. That's a good price. I like Air Force Red to win. I'm also going to throw in Dark Shift at a price. This was a horse who won the Royal Hunt Cup at Royal Ascot last summer, beat 29 horses in a straightaway mile. He was a little disappointing at Keeneland, but he's here. Obviously, he's doing well. And if Dark Shift runs back to his European form, he is dangerous. I make it Air Force Red over Dark Shift. I would use them both on your ticket.
Let's review the tickets for both Brian and Jeff Siegel for this week's Coast to Coast Pick 5. And want to remind you, as you look at the picks, to check out the final scratches and changes at santanita.com and at gulfstreampark.com, as our podcast is done in advance. Good luck in this week's Coast to Coast Pick 5.